Here's something that might surprise you. Being good with money has almost nothing to do with how smart you are. Some of the smartest people in the world go broke, while ordinary people with average jobs quietly build fortunes. How is that possible? Because managing money isn't about math, it's about behavior. And in his brilliant book, The Psychology of Money, Morgan Housel reveals the hidden mental habits that separate the wealthy from everyone else. Let's unlock them. Housel's central idea is this: financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill where how you behave matters more than what you know. You can know every formula in the world and still fail if your emotions and habits are working against you. So this isn't really a book about spreadsheets. It's a book about human nature. Let's start with one of his most powerful lessons: the incredible, almost magical power of compounding. Housel points to the story of Warren Buffett, one of the richest people alive. Now, most people assume Buffett got rich because he's a genius investor, and he is skilled. But here's what people miss. The real secret to his wealth is time. Buffett started investing as a child and simply never stopped. The vast majority of his fortune came after his 65th birthday. His superpower wasn't just picking stocks. It was patience. It was letting his money compound for decades and decades without interruption. The lesson? You don't need to earn crazy high returns to get wealthy. You need decent returns, sustained for a very long time. Time is the ingredient almost everyone underestimates. But here's where it gets interesting. Housel makes a distinction that could change how you see rich people forever. He says getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two completely different skills. Getting money often takes boldness and risk, but keeping it takes the opposite. It takes humility and fear. Fear that what you made could be taken away just as fast. Many people get rich, then lose it all because they get overconfident and take one risk too many. The ones who last are the ones who stay cautious, who survive, who never put themselves in a position to be wiped out. Survival, Housel says, is the key to long-term wealth. That leads to another crucial idea: the importance of room for error. Housel argues you should always leave a margin of safety in your finances. Room for things to go wrong, because they will. The world is unpredictable. The person who saves extra, who doesn't stretch themselves to the absolute limit, is the one who survives the surprises life throws at them. Being able to endure the bad times is what lets you stick around long enough for the good times to pay off. Now, here's a question. Why do we spend so much money we don't need to? Housel has a fascinating answer. He says a lot of our spending is about ego. We buy expensive things to signal to others that we're successful, to earn admiration. But here's the irony. When you see someone in a fancy car, you rarely think, wow, that person is impressive. You think about how cool the car is, or you imagine yourself in it. The admiration you're spending all that money to get, it mostly doesn't happen. People are too busy thinking about themselves. And this connects to one of the book's most valuable insights. Wealth is what you don't see. True wealth, Housel explains, is the money you don't spend. It's the investments, the savings, the assets quietly growing in the background. When someone spends every dollar on flashy stuff, that's not wealth. That's just spending. Real wealth is invisible. It's the choices you didn't make, the purchases you resisted. So the richest person in the room is often not the one with the most expensive things. It's the one who has options, freedom, and security you can't even see. And speaking of freedom, Housel says that's the highest thing money can buy. Not fancy cars, not big houses. Control over your own time. The ability to wake up and do what you want, with who you want, when you want. He argues that being able to control your own life is the greatest dividend money pays. Let me share one more idea that's incredibly freeing. Housel says stop trying to be perfectly rational with money and instead aim to be reasonable. What does that mean? It means the best financial plan isn't the one that looks perfect on paper. It's the one you can actually stick with emotionally. If a slightly less optimal strategy helps you sleep at night and keeps you consistent, that's better than a perfect strategy you'll abandon the moment things get scary. Money is emotional, so work with your emotions, not against them. And finally, Housel reminds us to respect the roles of luck and risk. Not every success is purely earned, and not every failure is purely deserved. The world is full of randomness. This should make us humble about our own wins and gentle with ourselves and others about losses. It also means we shouldn't blindly copy what worked for one lucky person, because their result might not repeat. So let's bring it all together. The psychology of money teaches us that wealth is built through behavior, not brilliance. Save consistently. Let compounding work over a long time. Stay humble and leave room for error so you survive the surprises. Understand that real wealth is invisible and that the greatest thing money buys is freedom over your own time. And perhaps that is the biggest lesson of all. Money isn't really about money. It's about the life you can build because of how you handle it. You can earn a high income and still feel trapped if every raise becomes a bigger lifestyle. You can own expensive things and still have no financial security. And you can earn an ordinary income while quietly building something incredibly valuable: independence. The goal isn't to save every penny or feel guilty about spending. Money is a tool. Spend it on things that genuinely improve your life, experiences you value, and people you care about. But be careful when spending becomes a performance, when you're buying something mainly to look successful. Because once you stop trying to impress everyone else, money starts working differently. You begin asking better questions. Do I actually want this? Or do I want what it represents? Will this purchase improve my life a year from now? Is this expense buying happiness or simply maintaining an image? And remember, you don't need to predict the future perfectly. Markets will crash. Plans will change. Unexpected expenses will appear. The goal isn't to build a financial life that works only when everything goes right. It's to build one that survives when things go wrong. That's why patience matters. Small amounts invested consistently can look insignificant for years. Then compounding quietly changes everything. The results don't come from one brilliant decision. They come from ordinary decisions repeated over time. So if there's one lesson from Asterisk, the psychology of money Asterisk, it's this: financial success isn't mainly about intelligence. It's about behavior. You need discipline to keep going, humility to recognize luck, and self-awareness to understand your relationship with money. Because ultimately, the purpose of wealth isn't to look rich. Asterisk, it's to live free. Asterisk, asterisk, do well with money, not by being the smartest, but by being patient, reasonable, and in control of your own emotions. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to have money. It's to use it to live a life that's truly yours. If this summary added value to your day, smash that like button and subscribe to Between the Chapters for more life-changing book breakdowns. And tell me in the comments, which of these money lessons hit you the hardest? I'll see you in the next one.